and gentlemen, welcome to the Monday Blues. What I'll do first is I'll quickly go around the grounds. I'll introduce the group. So, starting with myself, my name's Eamal. To my right, I have the lovely Andy.
Again?
Bottom right, we have Mus, and underneath me, as always, Karl. How are we, gents?
How you going, mate?
Going?
Doing all right.
G'day.
Doing all right, fellas.
Boys.
How
Now-
we feeling, boys?
Pretty flat, and I think that's the overall feeling for. I don't know if it's just us, or I don't know if the whole fan base is feeling the same thing, but it's pretty shit being a Carlton supporter at the moment. And I think there's, if the last 8 or 9 weeks has shown me in particular anything, is who are we, what do we stand for? It's just, there's 101 questions, and there's a lot that I need to get off my chest. If anything, look, I wouldn't even call this a podcast at this stage. I think it's more of a therapy session for us, if anything. But let's kick it off. Let's kick it off with what just went past. The Blues played the Doggies at Marvel last night, or on Saturday night, and yeah.
Where do we
What
start?
happened?
Where do we start, boys?
I
Beats
think-
me, bro. Beats me. I don't think the club knows.
Honestly, I don't think they do, man. Leading up to the game, there was a lot of media attention on the club, and all for the wrong reasons. It started with Brian Cook, and no one is going to forget what he said for the rest of the year, where if we do not make finals, it's not the end of the world.
So what are we there?
to
What are we there for then?
90,000 members.
What are we there for? Not to play
That's
finals?
a great question.
Yeah,
Great
I
question.
think it's a lot of
8 years
people.
into a rebuild, and it's not the end of the world if we don't make finals. That's the last thing you want to hear from your CEO, isn't it? Look, I don't
And then-
blame
and
Chera. I don't blame Chera.
Nah, Chera's just following.
Yeah,
the
just
instructions.
following.
Just a passenger.
Yeah,
Chera's early 20s, barely any media training. Cook's a veteran. Cook knows what he's doing.
Cook knows what he's doing, 100%.
So it's not the message you want to send out to your members and your fans.
No,
Especially when days are pretty dark at the moment.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the way Carlton started the year last year when Voss came on board. There was a distinct style of play that we had.
Yeah.
And that's not the case anymore. So let's talk about that. What the hell is our game plan? Like, what are we trying to do when we get out on a footy field? What are we trying?
I want to
do?
know like
It's ever-
what's changed so much. Like from last year, everyone was up and about. You know, the supporters were up and about. It's like this year come out and it's just like we've got different players on the field. Not the same
Flat.
group of boys. Yeah, not
Yeah.
it's a different group.
Wiedering has been
Non-existent,
not himself.
nothing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just not himself.
Mm.
And yeah, all right, he's had his off-field issues, but mate, we've just signed you to a pretty lucrative deal, you know. And
What is that deal? What is the deal that we've signed Wiedering to?
I think off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure it's long-term, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, that's what we
So-
always do.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the dollar amount. I mean, I know the rumored dollar amount, but he was on fire before he got injured last year. He was on fire. He comes back from injury,
Yeah,
still has a pretty decent season.
but yeah, just,
Mm.
just dropped off.
This year is just not interested.
Yeah, he seems to be a shell of the player that he has been over the last couple of years, and we've really, really relied on his sort of, I guess, level-headedness, that calmness in the back line, and that is just not there. It's not evident.
No.
He's
Like,
called
you
the
see it
general.
with his kicking.
He's the leader in the back line. You'd think. I don't know
He's
what's
not-
happened.
No, he's
Yeah.
he's certainly not the general anymore. And if anything, I think Lewis Young's backline ability has rubbed off on Wiedering a bit.
Yeah, possibly.
Probably.
How many times has he
Spoiled.
tried to go up for? Has he had the opportunity to go up for a mark, but has instead elected to punch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does my head in.
That's a confidence thing.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Well, speaking of confidence, we can't get mad at Harry Mackay. We can't get mad at Jesse Motlop or anybody else who snaps it, when we've got our captain, Mus, you said this to me yesterday.
Yeah.
When the top dog is snapping from 20 out and kicking
At a
it wherever the ball ended up.
crucial point in the game. It
Don't
was
even
make or
come on,
break.
man. Come on, mate. And if it's it's dripping from the top. The issues are dripping from the top. If nobody's holding Cripper accountable, what's Harry
That's
McKay?
exactly right. And that's one of those things.
If our captain is able to do what he wants.
Yeah.
Eamal, you said before, I mean, who are we, what are we, and all that sort of thing. It's exactly right. What do we accept? And if your captain's doing that, then you got your Motlops and your Walshers, set shot missing. There's no leadership. No one's taking accountability for any of this.
Yep. I totally
100%.
agree with that leadership, Paul.
100%.
We've lacked leadership for a very long time. Cripper goes in with his all. I will never, ever, ever say that Cripps doesn't give it 100%.
Yeah.
You can't.
But
he does.
Yeah.
as far as leadership goes, as far as having a leader who can point players into what direction and who can say, listen, boys, relax, or we got to step it up, something mid-game. We've struggled with coaching in-game and leadership in-game, both on-field and off-field in the box.
Well, that's what it was last year, the tail end of the year, when there was those 8 or 9 games. It was leadership.
Exactly.
That's why we lost those games.
Exactly.
Yeah, that last sort of 8 or 9 games last year, I mean, we were so depleted of personnel. But our leaders were there. Our leaders were all there. And 100% I agree with you guys. I reckon that they could have done a hell of a lot more back then. But just going back, leaders and everything, all of that kind of stuff is all well and good to have, but no one has yet been able to answer what is our game plan at the moment. What exactly are we trying to do when we get the ball? I mean, let's look at the Carlton and Doggies game on the weekend. For the first half, we were held to 1 goal.
That's embarrassing.
1 goal and 4 points for a team that has Harry Mackay and Charlie Curnow,
2 Coleman medalists
in their forward line. 2 back-to-back Coleman medalists. It was Harry Mackay 1 year and then Charlie Curnow the next, as he came back from fucking injury. How is it possible, right, that we are held to 1 goal?
It's embarrassing.
I don't even think they were that great. I think it was on our own bat. We just kicked long, made silly decisions, didn't look for the easy one, didn't get out to chop out our guys, nothing.
To be fair,
running carry.
Sorry to cut you off. Mackay snaps from 20 metres out, misses on the full. Jesse Motlop misses. Cripps misses. Walsh on the full.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
We can't say that we didn't have good opportunities to hit the scoreboard.
We had 29 entries to half time.
The pressure begins. The pressure begins when we start to do silly things at the goal front. Like, what are we doing? These are professional AFL footballers.
I think that's the question everyone's asking.
VFL. We're not talking Essendon District. Like, kick a drop punt. Like, enough's enough, mate. Like,
it goes further than that, though. Across the ground, it's not just the forward line. It's silly decisions everywhere. Mate, we're winning the contested possession. We're getting the ball, and we're working hard to get the ball. But the uncontested possessions, and that's where we're failing, because we're not getting the easy one out. We're not making the right decisions. We're not getting the easy option.
Easy. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, we make it all look
us.
hard. We make everything look hard.
Eamal, how many times did you mention last night how simple and easy it was for the Doggies to go from our forward line to their forward line with 3-4 kicks?
Every single time. It took us massive tackles. It took us those 1% moments, those 1%er moments, right? Like Harry Mackay taking on a pack of 3 and marking it on the wing 5 or 6 times in a freaking quarter for us to get the ball into our forward line, for a Motlop or a Durden or a Charlie Curnow or even a Mackay himself to mark it out on the wing boundary, 45 out from goal, to only have a shit opportunity to kick at goal every single time. That's even if we got the mark in the forward 50. Don't even worry about us getting the mark, because the delivery inside our forward 50 is absolutely pathetic at the moment. But when we do get it in there, the opportunities that we have created for ourselves is something 45 out on the wing for Harry Mackay to only have the opportunity to snap it. But when we've turned it over before it's even gotten to our forward 50, it was on Saturday night against the Dogs in particular, 3-4 short kicks to players on the lead, and bang, it's in our defensive 50, and it's way too easy.
Under pressure.
We are like witches' hats out there.
Mm-hmm.
We are a training drill. We are solely there to play other teams into form. The Dogs are probably thinking, far out, mate. We are a team. Man, I heard Kane Corns on the radio say that the Dogs should consider themselves in the upper echelon of the competition. Are you kidding me?
No, we just make everyone look good.
I rate the Doggies. I rate the Doggies as maybe a top 7, top 6 side.
No.
I don't even put them in.
Yeah. I just think they've got enough talent there to cause a bit of damage, but we made them look like contenders.
Yep. Yeah. But we do that to every side.
Yeah, we make every... There's not a single team in the league that we would strike fear into. Not a single team. We look right now, we look like we are beatable by anyone. And I think teams would get up at that opportunity. I think teams would be frothing at the mouth to play us right now.
AFL's most vulnerable side, Carlton Football Club at the moment.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And
it's everywhere. On the field, off the field, across the board, everywhere.
I want to say another thing.
Target.
Why every time we're going forward, we're always to the pocket? How come we're never sending it off, having a shot right in front? How come every time we go forward, we're everything from the boundary?
Easy.
Like,
very,
what is
very
it? What's the game plan? What are we doing?
Corridor,
what's happening?
The corridor is out of bounds. It's a no-go zone. We're not allowed there.
Unless it's just a confidence thing, or if it's game plan, I don't know, or a combination of both.
Worked last year.
Can I? How good did we look when we were forced to play on? When we were forced to play on, and we had we didn't have the luxury of standing there panicking and kicking backwards and sideways, and we had to take the game on. Right. We were moving quickly. We were moving swiftly through the middle. Handballs were hitting targets.
With ease
With
as well.
ease,
It was
exactly.
easy for us.
So
it was easy for us.
What is Voss telling them that's making them not want to do that?
Maybe it's the game plan. Maybe that is what the game plan is. Don't use the corridor. I don't know.
I struggle to believe that Voss is telling him to kick sideways and backwards and to look sideways. Okay, if that's the plan, shouldn't there be one player down the ground to say, all right, we're going to switch now. Let's switch. We switch the ball better than any team ever. But then that kick, that release kick, is under pressure. So we're going to have to go either sideways or straight down the line. So we're 3-on-1.
And then we turn it over.
We are so predictable.
Then we turn it over.
But we've done this week in, week out, over and over and over, and expected a different outcome.
Yeah,
this was key. We're playing the way we played.
You know what? That's the exact definition of insanity.
That's what we're doing, mate.
Honestly, the only time that we stopped playing that pathetic game style where we switch, go down the wing, long bomb, and hope that Harry Mackay or Charlie Curnow marks it, against the Doggies was about 15 minutes into the third quarter. And then all of a sudden we looked like a different team. But why can't we do that right from the get-go?
Belief.
Why can't we do that? What is it that we need that will tick the belief box for us to start playing like that? Why is it that we only play like that free style of footy, that manic style of footy that really on Saturday night looked kind of Collingwood-esque? We were moving with pace. We were moving with 3 or 4 handballs before it was a short kick into our forward 50 for someone to mark it. Didn't have to be Harry Mackay or Charlie Curnow. More times than not, the ball ended up with Durden or Always, who was absolutely brilliant. And I am so happy that he is back in the team because he is a critical cog in our forward line. But why can't we do that? Why do we need to be 5 or 6 goals down with 35 minutes to go in the game before we start to play like that? And if it is belief, then what is it? What is it that will allow us to tick that belief box before we can start playing that?
That's why I don't think it's belief.
I struggle to believe. I struggle to believe that the players are waiting for a boost of confidence before they start to go, okay, now we're going to go and attack the corridor.
You know what I think it is? I think we're so easy to coach against that teams block the corridor pretty well, and the team on field and the team off field are yet to find a way around that.
There's a clash between the off-field and on-field. There's no other explanation for it. Something's not right. The message is not getting across, or the message is, I don't know, not translating to what's happening on the ground.
Let's be real. Our defensive coach played forward his whole life.
Aaron Hamill.
Like, come on,
Work
bro.
that out.
Like, every decision this club has made.
How about when Fev?
I'm trying my best. How about
when Fev wanted to coach the kicking and they said, nah, we're good?
Oh, one of the best goal kickers your team's ever had in the history of its existence wants to help
The
out.
history of AFL.
You're one bloke who doesn't know how to kick a drop punt to save his life.
He says no.
Nah. What did he say? He goes, no,
Keep in
I'll
mind.
be all right.
Yeah, no, I'll be all right. Brother, you won the Coleman medal with 50 goals.
Reckon he'll
Calm
be
down.
All right,
Calm
nothing,
down.
man.
Oh.
Can you imagine? I'm perplexed. I would love to know what went on in that interview with Aaron Hamill when he put his hand up for the defensive line coach.
You know what it's like? It's like back in the day, I used to be bored and I used to apply for CEO positions on TV. Right, straight out.
I reckon he just got it.
And then one day, a company actually called me, right, for a phone consult. And I wasn't manipulative enough to be able to maneuver my way through. I just laughed and ended up telling him, look, man, I was just a troll. I was bored. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you guys should do a bit better seeking the right person for the job.
Yeah, well, Carlton.com.
I'm so confused, man.
I reckon
I walk away from every game.
every other Carlton supporter's in the same boat. We're not sure what the hell's going on.
I walk away from every game with more questions than answers. And
getting
that's
worse.
win or loss this year. I have not enjoyed a single game. I don't count the West Coast game. Unfortunately, the West Coast Eagles were struggling. We're playing witches' hats. That's
Waffle sod.
that's a
Yeah,
false
that's a reality. Yeah.
But seriously, have a look.
Can't deny that.
Have a look at the wins we've had. They've created the biggest false sense of security for this football club.
Yeah.
We were very lucky to get away with the draw against Richmond. They killed us the whole game. We just found ourselves in front, and then they managed to kick a goal. Of course, we gave up a win like that. And then who did we beat? Geelong. They had a shot on goal with about a minute left, 15, 20 metres out, and the bloke missed.
Yeah.
To the front. That's another one we were very lucky. GWS couldn't kick a goal for 2 quarters. Then we got that rubbish free kick for the descent.
That shouldn't have been a free kick.
Absolutely not.
That was
again,
a gift to us. That was very lucky.
3 games, we were very lucky. Then we played North. North didn't have a defence, and they barely had a forward line. And they kept up with us. We played a quarter of good footy.
Yeah.
And then don't forget, they kicked the last 4 or 5 goals of the game.
In junk time, which we allowed.
Yeah, we always
Yeah,
do that.
It
Though.
should have been a 10
We
goal
always
game.
You
do
know? Adelaide embarrassed us. Adelaide absolutely pantsed us. Right? And
Yeah,
to
they
be
tore us
fair,
to shreds.
they've done the same thing to Collingwood, except they didn't kick straight, and they did the same thing to St Kilda today. Right? So to be fair, Adelaide's, I think, the real deal. At their
Yeah,
ground.
agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
That rubbish, that absolute insipid performance against St Kilda.
That's where it started. That's where it cemented, I think, for me.
I think that's where it cemented. Yeah, it started. It started from about 10 minutes left in the Collingwood game last year.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, good
and
call.
we've just never recovered. We have never recovered from the trauma. I'm going to say.
Well, guess what, mate?
This week again.
A few more
Next
days
week.
to go, and
We'll be back at it at the G.
Oh,
Isn't that the most saddest thing, right? We week in, week out go through this emotional roller coaster with the Carlton Football Club, only to voluntarily put ourselves through it again the next
We're
week.
masochists. Masochists, yeah. We love pain, bro. We invite pain. We love it. I'm unsure. Like I'm unsure of what happens now. I'm cut. I'm genuinely and last week, after the game last week, I was upset. Clearly, we were all upset. As the week progressed, I got angrier. I got angrier and angrier and angrier. And people were coming up to me and they were telling me, "Oh, how's Carlton? How's Carl? What's going on? What's going on?" And you can't say that we're playing well, but things aren't going our way. And, no, bro, we're playing horrible. We're playing horrible football. And Voss had the audacity to kick back and throw out a comment about the fans leaving last week at 3/4 time.
Yeah, that rustled my jimmies.
Come on, bro. Come on, man.
Surely the question has to go back. I mean, I know he's avoided it a couple of times. I've listened to a few of the press conferences, but he just goes back and says, "Oh, the intent was there, and we just need to get better. We've got to believe in a process, and we're on a journey, whatnot." And
yeah, he said he was proud of yesterday's game. He was proud.
He was proud of the effort.
What?
Proud of the effort.
Did he say that yesterday?
I turned it off after 2 minutes.
He was what did he say? What he said? He said something. That he was
don't know with that
proud
guy.
of the.
Maybe that's the issue. Maybe it's just him. Maybe it's just him. I don't know.
Far out.
I'm just going
But it's the same shit that every single other coach. Like you look back at Bolton.
Yeah, Bolton
He was saying
2.0.
the same shit that Voss.
It's only when they put a Carlton Guernsey on. You have a look at these other guys and they call it out. They tell it how it is.
Yeah,
Don't
100%.
beat around the bush. If you've had a bad game or if you've got a bad strategy or there's errors or issues in the team that you need to weed out, call it out.
The thing is, there's no shame in saying that there's something wrong. There's no shame in, bro. Everyone can see it. We're not like blind, bro. We can see that there's issues on the field.
Yeah.
So there's no shame in saying, listen, we think we're pretty screwed in ABC, but we're working on it. But to sit there and say we're proud of effort is a non-negotiable. Effort is a non-negotiable, bro. Whether you can kick a ball, whether you're eating grass like Matt Rowell, effort.
Maybe we need a few of them.
Effort is a non-negotiable, bro. You shouldn't be proud of effort. What kind of message is that sending? Just try your best, and bro, 8
You'll
years
be right.
into a rebuild, and come on, man, proud of effort.
They had good intentions.
The intent was
This
there.
bloke is a 3-time premiership player,
It's
premiership
There
captain.
was- Yeah,
Bloody
but
Brownlow
Andy,
medalist, one of the hardest blokes in the world. He's talking about
Andy,
effort,
Andy,
proud
there
of
was,
effort.
There was more moments that
Fuck
looked
yeah,
like
yeah,
us.
man.
Voss said it himself. There was more moments that looked like us.
Look, can I just address the elephant in the room here? As a club, obviously we've got on-ground issues and whatnot, but this whole TDK thing just sort of swept under the carpet. Can someone just tell me what's going on with that?
I reckon he's.
Well, TDK probably realised long before Voss or the rest of the Carlton supporter base has, and he's gone, nah, so you know what, stuff this, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
This
I
is a
reckon
big
deal.
leaving.
Look, they haven't addressed it. They haven't called it out. They haven't said he's leaving. They haven't said, oh, look, we're battling through some injuries and concerns, health concerns. Other club will come out and say, look, there's some health concerns or something going on. They've done nothing.
Nah, you're asking for transparency from the most...
The least.
But what? Hang on. The most manipulative football club in the land. You're asking
that way, doesn't it?
transparency. Bro,
That's fair.
everybody on our injury list has been 1 to 2 weeks
Since round one.
for 3 months. Jack Martin had tightness in his calf, the poor bloke. Tightness. Hold on, bro. Tightness in his calf. 1-2 weeks, they said.
He's
We're
been
in
on
round
1 to
10.
2 weeks
Been out for now.
since he came over from Gold Coast.
I swear, man.
I just want a bit of transparency from the club to tell us what's going on with these players, these lists, what they're doing, what the game plan is,
Yeah,
where
but
we're
nah,
at.
you know that's not
This
going to
club
happen.
has
'cause
made poor decision after poor decision. We just keep our list of poor decisions stacks up with the worst ever for any club ever, man. Because we just consistently make them. Zach Williams. Let's just go back to Zach Williams. Halfback flanker. We're paying him $850,000 to play in the midfield. A halfback flanker to play in the midfield. And then what did we do? Played him one game in the midfield. We thought, no, he's more of a backman. So we'll just chuck him in the back. And now he's kicking back, he's probably earned $100,000 per game he's played, considering how long he's played for. Now, how many games?
It's the prison.
We're just
I don't know
full of
what to
bad
tell you.
Full of
I don't know
bad
what to
season.
say.
If the Koning's manager is worth anything, he'll tell him, get out of that rabble.
Well, that's probably
Yeah.
what's happened, mate.
Yeah.
And Carlton don't have the ability to want to say anything.
No. What are they going to say, bro? We sell the dream better than anyone.
Yep.
Yeah, our acquisitions lately have been very, very questionable, and it's been like that for a while. Like we've talked about a few of them. Zach Williams, who's been out for the bulk of his time in Carlton. You know, we've had
McGovern.
Jack Martin. I think he plays one good game a year, and then he's injured for the rest.
McGovern.
McGovern.
Where do you start with him?
It's no surprise McGovern is playing. It is no surprise McGovern is playing good footy at the moment because he's in his last year and he's still got a lot of footy.
Yeah, contract year, 100%. Look at Akers.
And then
let's not even go there.
Akers played out of his skin last year. He was dominating the league. Chuck a Carlton top on him, he forgets how to kick.
He looks just down and out. He looks like he's injured. He looks like he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, but everyone looks like that.
7 turnovers.
Everyone looks like that.
Would you want to be there right now?
Yeah, well.
Bro, you look at Collingwood. Collingwood was 5 goals down against Essendon, right?
They're up and about.
When Maynard stuffed up that kick in.
Yeah.
And I think he turned it over, shocking kick, whatever happens, over his head, goal. They're down by 4 or 5 goals. Bro, they were having a laugh. They were having a laugh on the field. Because they know, you know what? I'm playing footy with my mates. We're playing on Anzac Day. There's 100,000 people. Let's just enjoy it.
Let's win.
And that's what it is.
Can.
We are miserable.
We play for the money.
It is the hardest thing to say this. It is the hardest thing to say this as a Carlton supporter, but far out, Collingwood are a proper footy club.
Nick Dacos, bro. Nick Dacos.
That's depressing to say.
That hurts, man.
I never thought I'd ever say this, but I enjoy watching Collingwood.
They're beautiful to watch.
Yeah, they are to watch.
You'd be stupid not to admit that.
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing to watch.
Hey, look, let's not deny they got some stars, absolute stars, but it's gelling. They're working together. There's obviously a game plan. There's a strategy. They're dedicated. They're committed to it, and they believe in it.
Bro, they believe. Their coach has instilled so much and you know what? The camaraderie around the team. When Nick Dacos was copping it last week, and the boys all ran in,
everyone got
and
around.
mate.
Yeah, nah, we'd never do that.
Every single week. Cripps cops it every week, bro. You got Harry McKay busy trying to work out how to snap the ball out on the pool from here. You got bloody Wiedering in the back thinking about his bank account. Like, what are we doing, bro?
Not only that, like Collingwood does just like they got a few stars, and the rest of their players are just average, but they just dominate.
Let's not get this mixed up. I don't know why we're talking about Collingwood and us right now because this is two different.
Chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
It's chalk and
Let's
cheese.
not even go there.
One's a premiership contender, and the other one will struggle to make the top 14.
Well, that's probably the next question for us at the moment. I mean, we've got Collingwood, and then we've got Sydney, and then we've got Melbourne, and then we've got Essendon. Last year, Essendon would have been a walk in the park with the way that we started off the year. This year, I reckon Essendon will. At this point in time, I think Essendon will beat us by about 5 or 6 goals.
Fuck me.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Talking about Collingwood and Essendon in the same couple of minutes, mate. I'm about to vomit.
I'm gonna vomit.
Look at the brand Richmond played. Look at the brand Richmond played Friday night.
Yep. When is it going to be our turn? Realistically, I don't think we're going to make the top 8 this year. And I sincerely hope that my mind changes on that over the next few weeks, and hopefully we can sneak some wins in against Collingwood and Essendon. And
Let's be realistic. That's not going to happen. But I just want to see them play a good brand of football
for 4 quarters.
Yeah,
for 4 quarters.
Yeah,
Our best our best of last year, nobody can stop us. No team can stop us.
Absolutely.
So far, our best this year wasn't good enough to beat the Western Bulldogs.
No.
Our best this year, which was for about 10 minutes against the Western Bulldogs, got us back into the game. We were 5 goals behind.
Yeah,
We
10
were up.
minutes.
We were up. We hit the front.
Yeah.
We hit the front in 15 minutes. We were 5 goals down.
We
That's
just
what we
need to
do,
do
but-
that for an extra 100.
We do that once a game. We
Yeah.
play good 15 minutes a game, and that's all we do. We don't do 4 quarters. We don't know what that is. I think that's what we train,
You
15
guys-
minutes
you
a week.
Do you guys think Voss's position is under pressure?
Yes.
Do you
I'm
guys
undecided.
do you guys
Undecided.
I reckon it is.
Undecided.
Do you think the club? I think Sayers made it very clear last year when he was signing him in that press conference that we want success, that we are ready for success. So the club rates this list as ready for a premiership too, and we're not there now.
We're just
So
throwing it away.
Do you guys think that? Do you
But
guys
let's
think
be
that
real.
we're?
Does Sayers even care? Because he's out next year, isn't he? At the end of the year. So why does he even care?
Well, bro, I agree with you, but he has to care because he's still there this year, and this will be his legacy.
Exactly.
So
That's what he leaves behind.
If you're like, I'm a proud person. I want to make sure the place that I was just in is left in a pretty good place.
You'd think so, but he
So,
hasn't come out and said
is he
anything
a
to it.
proud person? We're about to find out. We're about to find out a lot about Luke Sayers in the next couple of years. Man, when I listen to Brian Cook talk, Cook doesn't care. Cook
Yeah, he doesn't sound...
doesn't sound
invested.
enthusiastic, bro.
Yeah.
Even that very first press
He
conference
doesn't
with
sound
Voss,
committed.
that very first press conference with Voss, he looked disinterested, unmotivated. At the end of his career, he's had a long run. He had a great run at Geelong.
Money.
100%. All about that.
Yeah.
100%.
If
And we-
I can't.
Go on.
Do it.
Go on.
If you guys were sent to send a message to Voss now, and a coaching panel and
Really
a
bad.
coaching team and all the guys around him, what would it be?
Honestly,
Be brave. I'm not against Voss. I don't think Voss should get sacked. I'm not on that train.
It's not purely him.
But
No, it's
but
definitely
I
not
think
all him.
he
Can't
needs
be.
to be brave. He needs to be brave and stand up to whoever's. If he's not making the calls at team selection, he needs to be brave. Start making those calls, those tough calls. Ed Kerno should not be in our team. I love Ed.
No.
He's been a great servant.
He needs to go.
On you, bro. Thank you for your time. But
Nah.
we're moving on. We
Not
are
when you
moving
got the
on, bro.
likes of your honeys and those sorts of guys who you give them a good crack. You got
No, there's no integrity in his team selection. You cannot sit there and tell us 1 year that you're going to play play players based on output and what they put out, they will get. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then you got someone like Paddy Dow getting 40 plus. You got other players.
Oh.
What's his
Jackson
name?
Binns.
Bins. Bins has been
Dominating.
playing well. Give him
Mm.
a run. Give him a run, bro. Bro, we're relying.
Yeah.
We spent the first few games of the year relying on Hollins and Cowan.
Yeah.
Two, they're first year players, bro. We're supposed to be going for a flag. How are we relying on these two blokes? Like two young kids, bro. They're kids. Like, how are we relying on them to fulfill these roles?
Because they trained well. This is this is Division 3
Mm.
Endeavour Hills Football Club.
Yeah.
Just
That
rock up to
doesn't win
training
you
and get a
games,
game.
or even further, that doesn't win you premierships, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think we're a mess. I think we're a mess from the top. And something's got to give eventually. Surely. And it's always the coach. And that's what I'm afraid of, because I don't think... Bro, Voss isn't telling these players, I'm sure he's not telling them to go out and kick backwards and sideways.
Yeah, but you know what doesn't help his cause? In his press conferences, he
Yeah.
comes out and he
I'm
just
happy.
sugarcoats it and he walks away and goes, "Good job, boys." That's what it appears like to us. So I don't know what happens behind closed
The
doors.
boys.
I don't know, but
And he's blasting
have-
them behind the scenes.
I can't
Stop
answer
protecting
that.
them. Let them cop it. Let them cop it. Maybe that's the catalyst for change here.
But you got all these supporters
Maybe,
losing
Maybe
their
that's
you're
what
right.
they
mind.
need. Maybe that's
You
what
need
they
to.
need.
But do you think maybe he
Yeah.
needs some new assistants that might fix?
Yes,
Oh, bro.
100%.
100%. I think we need A lot.
Still.
I think we need a lot.
I think our
I'm
list is
down.
okay. I think our list is okay. Not what it was made out to be,
Yeah, I think
obviously.
it's been a bit overrated. Let's
But
be
No.
real.
Oh, we've overrated the list.
Yeah.
You know, Nathan Buckley should be applauded because when everyone was saying Carlton's going to be a top 4 side, Carlton's
Yeah,
a top 4 side.
He said we won't
He
make the 8.
said we are greatly overrating the Carlton list.
Yeah, he
They
said we
still have
won't
many
make
holes
8.
in their list. He
or
said
maybe
we
he
wouldn't
was
make the 8.
just underrating.
Yeah, he said
maybe
that.
he was just underrating Vossi. He knows him well.
Yeah, literally.
Sick of
So
him.
maybe he wants Boss's job. Who knows?
Hey, low key, I'd take Buckley.
Yeah,
All
same.
day.
Would you?
Yeah.
I'd take him.
I mean, looking at how he left Collingwood playing the same way we're playing now. So I don't know. Man. I don't know. I think worst case, and I hate talking about this because you don't want anyone to lose their jobs, but if the club decides to part ways with Voss, then I think we go for either Adam Simpson or we try our absolute best to get John Longmire.
Sydney.
I think John Longmire, what he's been able to do with that Sydney, I don't think he'd want to come. Like, I'll just put that out there. But I think he's the most talented coach for what
He's underrated. Definitely
for
underrated.
What he's got on his list. But they're a very young side. And they made a grand final last year. And you know what? He always keeps them thereabouts. Even through a rebuild.
Sydney's always been a dangerous team. They have been a
They're always
dangerous
up
team
there.
for a long time.
And I love their brand. I love what they stand for. But let's be real. Voss did nothing at Brisbane, coach-wise. Nothing.
No.
He went to Port Adelaide. What's Port Adelaide achieved? Nothing. So he came from a club where their head coach is under pressure to get sacked. For the last 5 years, they've been talking about sacking Ken Hinkley. So did we make the right choice? Did we get the right guy? The club has to start thinking about that decision. We've got to live with it. It is what it is. But some accountability would be nice from the club.
Could another coach have gotten the best out of this playing list? Was Voss the right person for this job? This is the problem. This is the problem with Carlton. They don't do themselves any favors when they get out onto the football field.
No.
It's just all talk and build up during the week.
Like Mus said, yeah. It's all talk and build up. It's selling us this fairy tale story at the start of the season,
which we fall for.
We're all Legends Lounge members here. We're all paying the big bucks to go and watch the boys play a brand of footy that is enjoyable to watch.
If you call it that.
And it's just not that at the moment. It is a really boring,
local footy,
keepings off style of footy, and then we've kicked it 2-3 times sideways. Let's go long and hope one of the big boys marks it.
It's too
We're
predictable.
in a bad way, boys. We're in a bad way.
We're in a bad way, and I'm taking this time as a therapy session for me to sort of vent my frustration with the football club, but it'll be good to see what everyone else is thinking. And I'm almost certain that absolutely every single Carlton supporter, aside from those that are on, drugs or anything like that, that continue to say that we're going to be fine, because there is no fine in this storyline at the moment.
Nah, fine is a long way away.
Fine is a long way away.
It seems like there's a lot of twists and turns before we get to fine.
Fine is being 5 goals down going into the fourth quarter and the team going, yeah, we still got this.
Yeah.
Something's got to give.
Yeah, I think we're stuck at a roundabout.
We're fine. Fine is not. We were literally 2 goals down. 2 goals down. And all of us at the game on Saturday night were thinking we were 10 goals out of this game.
That's how it's felt during every loss this year.
Yeah, but that's what they do to us.
The margin has felt tenfold. Tenfold. There's no trust in the team. Look, I wasn't expecting an 8-2. I wasn't expecting it to repeat 8-2 again. Last year, those first 10 games were out of this world. It's the happiest I've been in my whole life. Whole entire life. I've got no kids. I can't say childbirth, all that. Don't care about kids. The Carlton Football Club last year was the happiest I've been in my entire life.
Yeah,
for the first 10 weeks. And then Carlton kicked in. And here we are 12 months later, literally literally, I think 12 months later, what are we, round 9, round 10?
Yeah.
Like roughly the same time. And we're just so far from where we were. We peaked at 9th. We fucking peaked at 9th. 8 years into a rebuild. 8 years rebuild. We've got
They know we're coming.
8 players on elite money. Elite money. How many number 1 draft picks does this club want? How many top trades that we seeked? We went out and we seeked the players we needed to fill these spots. Like, what do we do? What's next? What can we do?
I think that's the question everyone asks.
Oh,
The club
you know what it is?
says,
I think they'd never believed that we'd actually fill those spots, and now that we've filled them, they don't know what to do with them.
maybe, bro. Maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know.
It sounds like, and it has been the case for a long time. It's more questions than answers with this club, constantly. We look back. Let's quickly take a look back at the Doggies and Carlton game one last time. Your best player, your best on ground for the night, Andy. We'll kick it off with you.
Always. I
Always?
just think he stood up when it mattered. Possessions, all that doesn't matter. Everyone's banging on about Walsh, but Walsh went at fucking 69%, bro. He's got a lot of work to do. I think always was head and shoulders above everyone else.
Always was certainly brilliant, but I think Walsh has definitely improved game on game since he's returned from his injury.
Yeah, I agree.
He will continue to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Karl, what about you?
Same, always. To be out 3-4 weeks and come back and have an impact
Always?
like that, like it says a lot about the club.
3 goals as well.
Yeah, it says a lot about us that this guy's been out, comes back, has an impact. What have you been doing? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mus?
Look, I'm definitely an always man. He did his job and whatnot, but I really commend Cottrell's performance. I think he got to every contest. He moved, he spread, he was accountable, and he just gave it all he got.
He does, he runs.
I don't think he missed too much either, and Cottrell's my pick as well. I think he was our best on ground.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can pull up his stats, because Cottrell had a blinder of a game, and I really hope that he doesn't get dropped. He shouldn't.
I think he's done enough.
While you're searching that, Eamal, while you're searching that up,
16 with 78%. Sorry.
There you go, 78%. So can we, like, Bailey Smith for the Doggies tore us up. He had a blinder, man. He killed it. So I think if we're gonna acknowledge our boys, I think we need to acknowledge he had a pretty good game, man. He killed us.
Let's have a look. Bailey Smith.
Can I just call out the contest as well? Sorry to cut you off there, Andy, but English and Pyrenees. How do we think that went?
Pyrenees killed it tap-wise, I think.
But then did nothing around the ground. Yeah, no, he did. He did. I think he won at tap-outs.
He was labouring around the ground. Labouring. That guy looked like he could not run if his life depended on it.
Pyrenees is just so unfit, which is why the coning issue is so
massive.
Let's
go one step further. You got an unfit Pyrenees, right? What happens if he goes down? What happens next week?
The coning has to come in.
Yeah.
We have to play. Or
what about if he doesn't want to play? Is that where we're at a club? I don't know.
We do what we did last year. Jack goes in the ruck, and I think Lewis Young as well.
How's this for an idea?
Did a bit of ruck time.
I reckon we bring in.
He's pretty good at fisting it, isn't
I
he?
reckon.
Idiot.
I reckon Tom De Koning should come in, and they should put him on Mason Cox. Put him in the back line.
Just run with him.
I don't see an issue with that.
Well,
I think that'd actually be a pretty good matchup.
I think Cox will manhandle him.
Give it a crack.
He
can't kick a ball. He can't kick a goal.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He can't run. Give him a crack in the back line.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
I'm just going to call it here. If TDK doesn't get named and the club doesn't come out and make an announcement of something, stress or he's going through some hardship and whatnot, then we're in some real trouble.
He's out. He's done.
I
think it was a done deal at St Kilda, and I think that's why we dropped him against St Kilda. And he didn't play VFL that week, I don't think.
No.
Or maybe he did.
No, is that the week he got concussed?
I reckon.
And then he was out with concussion.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
they pulled it the concussion.
Oh, well, there you go, bro. And he's missed a month now. So I think he's told the club, or the club has inside knowledge that, look, he's leaving.
That is gone.
And I don't think the league is mature enough now to do what the NRL does. Like NRL, they say, listen, I'm leaving at the end of the year. I'm going here. And then it's fine. They continue playing the season out and they give it their all. I don't think the AFL is mature enough to do that.
It would be good if they bring in a mid-season
if a player
trade.
wants to leave. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that. It'd be good.
I'm not a big fan of them.
I wouldn't mind it.
I like our uniqueness, like the war of attrition kind of thing. Like the fittest team wins, you know, survival of the fittest kind of thing. So
no, because you get that rookie draft in the middle of the season anyway.
Yeah.
So if you just trade them up earlier,
what do we want to see against Collingwood this week?
4 quarters of good footy.
Bravery, just brave. Be brave. Just bravery. The same thing I want from Boss, I want from the players. Take risks. You're playing against a team that's going to force you to probably take risks. And we're playing against a team that allows you to take a risk by the way they play, by their ball movement. So
they don't care if you score.
No.
The only thing that they're concerned about is getting one more goal than you.
Yep, exactly. Literally. We'll let you score whatever you want to score, but we're going to end up with one more.
Yeah, we'll outscore you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You can score 100, we'll score 110. That's how they play.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what pisses me off is that was our mantra last year at the start of the season.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if you guys score 90 against us, we'll score 96.
Yep.
No issues.
I don't know.
I would like to see a more handball happy team. I think we relied too much on kicking, and the kicking is not Carlton Football Club's strength. I'm sorry. We cannot kick.
No, we can't.
Blake Acres is the prime example of that. He turned it over 7 times against the Dogs.
We just substituted O'Brien with Acres, and we're getting exactly the same outcome.
Probably worse, to be honest.
Except he's right-footed. That's the only difference.
Yeah, I reckon we've taken a step back.
Yeah, I reckon he's probably worse.
I don't know. I just think we need to contend, and I think we need to go back to basics. And I don't know what the message is going to be. And I haven't seen, or it's evidently the message is. I don't know what the message is, but they need to just beat their man, 18 on 18 on the ground, and just get out there and do your job.
Yeah, it's a big game. It's a sold out crowd. There's going to be 100,000 people at this game. I really hope the right Carlton turns up. Otherwise, this
could be embarrassing.
Could be very embarrassing.
It could get ugly.
Well, if that happens, I think Andy, what you called out earlier on in the week about Olvossi, I don't know. I think we just saved ourselves in that third quarter.
Yeah,
he's already under a lot of pressure. Agreed. 100% agree. That third quarter, whatever pressure he had leading up until that point, there was a release valve that was opened at that time.
Needs to keep it open.
I don't know, man. What are you boys tipping for this week? What's the tip? who and by how much? Are we winning? Or Pies winning?
I think the question, let me rephrase the question for you. How much are we tipping Collingwood by?
Look, I bleed navy blue. I've tipped them every single week, unfortunately. I'd love to say we're going to come out and we're going to do something, and Vossi's going to get some drive in these boys. There's going to be some belief instilled. Something's going to change. But if I'm going to be logical here, I'm going to say Collingwood easily. I'd say between 50 to 60.
So you reckon similar to what they did to GWS?
Yep. I don't think we're better than GWS.
No, well, it was a fake free kick that won us the game against them.
Yeah, literally. Carl?
I don't think that much, but I think we'll probably lose by 3-4 goals.
Yeah, I feel the 3-4 goals as well, but they're going to blow us out in the second or third quarter, and then it's going to be
chasing the whole game.
They're going to switch it off. We're going to turn it on, and then it's going to be the same questions asked again in next week's podcast. It's going to be, Why did we turn it on again in the third quarter? I reckon.
And look, to be fair as well,
I
look,
reckon it's going to be close.
go on.
I'm tipping a close one. I'm tipping 6 to 12 points.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm tipping
you're
a-
thinking
I'm tipping an absolute heartbreaker again.
that's
Can
what I
I
was
just
just about to
call
say. I was
out
just
that
about to
you
say.
said we were going to win by 40.
I was just about to say I'd rather
You said we
lose
were
by
going to win by
60.
44,
Put the house on it.
but I think you meant Owies, didn't you, Andy?
What do I do?
You tipped us by 44 against the Doggies, but I think you got that confused with Owies having a good game.
Yeah, 44 is my lucky number apparently this year. Every time I've said we're going to win by 44, we've lost.
We lose.
So, I'm tipping a 6 to 12 point loss. Unfortunately, I think we're going to be better. I think we'll drag Collingwood down to our level, but I think Nick Dacos will get another 40 touches.
He's great.
Do we put anyone on him?
Yeah, Ed Kerno.
Who do we put on him? Honestly, Ed Kerno is probably the best one to put on him. Just go a hard tag and sacrifice Ed Kerno's game.
Yeah, it goes back to what I said about beating your man. There's
No,
one we tick off the list. Ed Kerno, stay with him. One job done.
I'd probably put Kennedy on him, to be honest, just to rough him up a bit.
I don't think Kennedy's got
Kennedy's
the tank.
too slow.
I don't think
Kennedy
got
can't
the
go
tank.
with him. Too
Yeah,
slow.
but he's not the quickest player, is he, though?
He's quick.
I think he's pretty quick. He finds space pretty easy, man.
Yeah.
It might look deceiving, but bro, to get 30 uncontested touches a game, a lot of people look at it like it's a bad thing, bro. His career is going to go for 20 years.
Yeah, he's damaging with
You know
those
what I mean?
possessions.
Or do you just give Cottrell a license and go, you had a good game last week, mate. Show us how much run you got.
We can run.
That's the
We know
thing.
that.
This is a good chance to do it because Collingwood will allow that because they need that space to run themselves. So, I mean, that's why I think there's a lot of opportunity here to play our. I'll say our style.
Whatever game plan it is.
We don't have a style.
Let's just call out Vossi and go, mate. This is the game. The Collingwood one done us over last year. We haven't been the same since.
Just win, please.
Just do something.
Please.
Commented that on Carlton's page the other day. They were posting up some Mother's Day. They was like, man, honestly, nobody cares. Just win, please.
Just win.
Just win. We don't care. We don't care what agenda you're pushing this week. Just please win. And they lost. So
You win, you just make everyone happy.
yeah,
They didn't listen.
yeah.
All right, boys. Well, till next week. It's been a good chat. I feel
Has been.
marginally better.
Same actually.
Probably go to work. I could probably go to work now.
Get it off.
I think I can. I think I can face people now.
I think I can cry a bit less tonight.
I won't. I won't cry myself to sleep
Tonight.
Anyway, I will see you,
Pleasure, gents.
fantastic gentlemen,
As always.
at the G on Sunday, Arvo.
Done.
Hopefully, it's a good game. It's a game that we can walk out with our heads held high. Win or lose, at least we do something different. Do something different. Contend.
Be brave. Be brave.
Just
All in.
fight it out. Fight it out, because if we don't do that, nothing will ever come of this football club. We
Agreed.
can't do it against the arch nemesis. We're not going to do it against anyone. Anyway, for those that are watching, for those that are going to watch from the Monday Blues, sayonara.
Sick and no.
Thanks, gents.